This man burst into tears when he saw what the crow brought him. People close and dear to us often pass away unexpectedly, and it's very difficult to come to terms with the loss. Losing a loved one often makes people question the meaning of life, their goals, and their dreams. However, it sometimes happens that even the saddest old man can find the strength to return to reality and continue his life as if guided by some unknown force. This story took place on the outskirts of the city of Vladimir, Russia. An elderly man lived in a small apartment. A year earlier, something terrible had happened to his family. His beloved wife passed away, and ever since then, the man has been unrecognizable. He closed off and stopped talking to his adult children. He would only speak to his youngest daughter once in a while, saying that he would soon meet his wife, but in a different world. Soon, even the neighbors turned away from the old man, trying not to cross paths with him because they were all very tired of his sighing to ease up his loneliness. The widower often spent his day sitting on the balcony. He would look out into the street from there, watching who was going where and looking at the children on the playground. The old man would often put a piece of stale bread on the balcony railing to feed the local birds, which were mainly pigeons and sparrows. But one day, the man noticed a large black bird among his feathered guests. It was a crow. The bird was afraid to take the food at first. It would only watch from afar as the pigeons pecked on the crumbs. But then it got used to the situation and began to feed on the bread with the rest of the birds. Pretty soon, the bird went even further. It began to fly to the old man's window on its own. The clever bird knocked on the window with its mighty beak, reminding the man that it was time to feed his new friend. The man and the bird got very attached to each other. When the old man went to the store to go buy some treats for the crow, the bird would wait at the window for him. It knew that the man would bring food. This little arrangement could have worked for a long time if the old man hadn't gotten sick. The man had caught a cold and stayed in bed, running a fever and coughing badly. Because of his age, he couldn't beat the disease quickly. It was thanks to the efforts of his beloved daughter, who immediately came to take care of him, that the man got better. Since the old man hadn't heard his crow knocking on the window for a long time, he put on a warm jacket and went out onto the balcony. But the bird wasn't there. The owner brought food, but no one came for it except the sparrows. Soon, the daughter asked her father to move in with her for a while so that she could look after him, and the man agreed. At the new place, the man was very sad without his feathered friend. He was worried that his crow would leave for good, since no one else fed it, but he couldn't do anything about it at the time. He had to restore his health. Suddenly, his sad thoughts got interrupted by a knock. The old man couldn't believe his eyes. The crow was sitting on the ledge and obviously asking his friend for a treat, as if it was happening back at the old man's apartment and not in his daughter's home. The man ran out into the street to greet his friend. But an even bigger surprise was awaiting him there. An old earring was lying on the ledge. The man was certain this earring once belonged to his late wife. There could be no mistake because he custom-ordered these earrings before the wedding, but his wife had lost one of the earrings. The man couldn't understand how the crow managed to find him almost 100 kilometers from his home and where it got the earring from. Later, his friend told him that crows are very smart birds, so the bird could have easily picked up a lost earring from the ground and taken the shiny thing to its nest. A little while later, the man recovered completely. It was as if he had become an entirely different person, as if life had returned to him. He moved back to his place and began talking to his children and grandchildren. Of course, he missed his wife very much, but life went on. This story was published on the internet by the man's grandson, and whether it's true or not is for you to decide. But we choose to believe that this is exactly what happened.